Hey y'all. Again, I know no one's on here, but I was just sitting here, I'm working, and I'm thinking about, like the title says, the good, the bad, and the ugly about YouTube. And I know that there are a lot of YouTubers out there who have a huge following. Some have a small following. Some people are just that charismatic that once they get on camera and they get like amped up and they draw people in. You know what I mean? Um, I used to be that person. I think at this point now, um, YouTube is definitely a hobby. Would I love for it to be um, full time money? Of course, who wouldn't? But for me, right now, the probability of that not going to happen because I don't put as much faith into it as I do my current job. Clearly, because I do have priorities, I have responsibilities, and that's not to say that people who have YouTube as their full time job that you all don't have responsibilities and things like that. But I think it's all in prioritizing. And I really didn't have much to talk about today. I just wanted to come on because I have not been as consistent as I was in the beginning. And I'm not going to apologize for it because, again, life gets in the way and I have other things to do, you know. But I do miss making videos. I really do. But I'm going through a few little minor health issues and stuff like that. And one, I want to thank you all who have commented and sent me prayers and well wishes. I really appreciate it. Um, it's all good now. Everything is fine. So getting back into this YouTube thing, um, I have decided to stop doing the Feature Friday, and I'll tell you why. Um, I recognized that when I would do the Feature Fridays, they were clearly, as it said, I would feature someone, a YouTuber who I felt made had a positive point in my life. You know, people that I thought would, you know, just be really good for other people. I just wanted to share their channel, share their information. I felt that what they did and what they what they represented and everything was fairly good. Hey, big brother, I love you too. And I stopped doing that because it wasn't reciprocated. And I know that some people, well, for me, doing YouTube is a pleasurable thing. You know, it's not to get recognition, but if I'm spending time that where I can do something else, or you know, go into a different avenue or different genre of video, if I'm taking that time to shout you out, to shout out, to point out that your channel does this for me, this for me, and it's really good. If I think it's good enough to share, and I actually share your information, your channel and stuff with other people, um, not a thank you, none of that. Now, I'm not going to say that for everyone because I've only done a few Feature Fridays, but of the few I've done, only two people have really come to me and said thank you. And I appreciate those people, and I'm not going to call anyone out. Um, but I don't know. I had to realize that YouTube needs to stay in the background for me. I need to not give as much as I did in the beginning to YouTube because it's not my bread and butter. It's just something that I like to do. Um, like I said, it's a hobby. Uh, I don't know. That's that on that. But there have been a lot of things happening. Now, I am, however, going to continue on with my 5 minutes of. But the broadcast will be a little longer than 5 minutes. I realized that in doing the 5 minutes of videos that I was limiting the amount of information that I was giving, and I want to provide more information. I want to provide more commentary. So I'm revamping that right now. So it'll no longer be called 5 minutes of with Stingray 72. It'll have a different name, but the direction is still the same. There will still be actual real topics with a little bit of comedic timing to it, just to kind of lighten it. Because as of this point, we got a whole hell of a lot of lightening up, mood lightening that we need to have done. I know that this is it's an old issue, but I kind of want to touch on it, and that's Will Smith and Jada Smith and Chris Rock. I hadn't seen the Oscars. I didn't even know what was going on literally until the next morning. That's usually how it is. I don't keep up with the award shows. I don't watch the news, none of that stuff. The only thing I have to do is come on to social media, and I know I'll find out everything I need to know. With that being said, that's exactly how it happened. I got online the next morning when I got up and got ready for work and stuff. All my phone was ping, 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 all these notifications coming. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I looked, and it was like, well, Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith over some joke or something like that. And I was like, really? And then when they showed the video, I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't. What I saw was a black man walk up to another black man in front of the world and be violent. And I can't watch stuff like that. I don't like watching fight videos. I don't like watching stuff like that. I really don't. They already see us this way. So you walk right into that trap. It took you a minute, took you years to get there, but you walked into the trap of, see, I knew that's who they were. And it's like what Martin say in Bad Boys, see, he already a cop. He got to be a nigga too. Well, yeah, that's the equivalent for me. That's the equivalent of what happened. I will say this. I applaud Chris Rock for his demeanor. I applaud him for not retaliating. I applaud him for holding his ground, because I know he wanted to say something more than what he said. I know he did. And then for Will Smith to go back to his seat and shouting at him to keep my wife's name out your mouth. In watching the video, or in watching and reading about the events that led up to him going up on stage, when he told the joke, initially, there was laughter. Now, I had never heard about anything with Jada Smith and alopecia. I had never heard of it. But of all the family secrets, that's the one that's being left out. Anyway, now, I'm not doubting that she has it or not. That's not for me to judge. I'm only here to give an opinion. And I really think that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if she has alopecia. If she does, okay. If she doesn't, okay. But for me, when I heard the joke, this is where my mind went to when I heard the joke. When I heard the joke, I immediately thought of two things that Jada Smith and Demi Moore had these two things in common. The shaved haircut, and the fact that both of them had an affair with a man who was half the age of their husband. Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. and Jada Smith and August Alsina. And then with the G.I. Jane thing, because in the movie G.I. Jane, she was shaved bald, and that was the correlation. That's what I got out of it. That's what I thought when I heard the joke. And then it was like a couple of days later is when I found out that she has alopecia. So in my opinion, I don't know. I kind of seriously doubt that Chris Rock would make fun, would poke fun at someone's medical ailment, especially considering that they were friends. They were friends prior to this. I have a hard time believing that Chris Rock would stoop that low. He doesn't need publicity like that. He absolutely doesn't. His name is known, so it's not like he had to pull a stunt or anything like that to be able to remain relevant. Hell, he was hosting the Oscars. You have to be of some relevancy in order to, hell, even be invited to the Oscars, which Jada Smith said she was boycotting anyway. But okay, sis, you there to support your husband. Now you supporting him. But that was my computer timed out. That was my take on that joke. And then that begs the question, in my opinion, that begs the question, what's too far for a comedian? Where's the line drawn? Is there a line to be drawn? Because I remember growing up and stuff like, okay, we called it Joning. I don't know what area you're from, but I'm from Washington, D.C. area. And, just poking fun at people and calling it, they joning on you. Okay, that's fine. Joning on you, beefing with somebody regardless. Mamas and children were off limits. We didn't, that's some shit you ain't joke about. I mean, you'd have the occasional your mama joke, but you didn't go too far with it. You know what I mean? You knew how far, you knew when and where to stop with that. But as a comedian, and where's that line drawn? And again, is there a line that should be drawn? We spend so much time in other people's reality. Should there be a line drawn? Because I'm thinking if there is, then comedy is done as we know it. And I could be wrong. This is only my opinion. My opinion is in fact, and I understand that. But where, if comedians cannot make jokes about people, about, then what do we have? And I do believe that Chris Rock is an observational comedian. But I think that every comedian has that capacity to be an observational comedian, meaning they can look around, see something, and go off of that, just like that. I think every comedian has that. I think that's a clever tactic to use. But again, at what point is it too much? At what point does it become bullying? And my husband and I, we talk about this a lot. Is being a comedic person segue for you being a bully? Are they considered the same thing? Like, I don't know, let's take from a movie from The Nutty Professor, when Dave Chappelle was that comedian Reggie. Okay, and he just kept going on Sherman. Okay, that was harsh. In my opinion, that was harsh. He had gone way too far. And I know that, again, I know that's what comedians do. But at what point do they run out of material and then go to the audience members and start to bully them? Do you really think that Chris Rock bullied Jada Smith in making that comment? I don't feel that he did. Again, I feel that where the joke went, excuse me, it was correlated between between her and Demi Moore. That's where I went with it. But again, I didn't know anything about the alopecia. But I don't know that if I had known before I heard the joke, that my mind would be different. Because I remember G.I. Jane. I remember my mind, I'm quick-witted. And I'm very sarcastic. So when I hear something, I've already processed it. So I already knew that when he said G.I. Jane, first thing I went to, the haircut. And then Demi Moore, again, who cheated on her husband. at the time with a man half her husband's age. That's what Jada Smith did. So that's where my mind went. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's my thoughts on that. Um, him being banned from the Oscars for 10 years, I really don't think is going to hurt him. Um, if any of his projects are taken out of syndication, that might, I'm pretty sure that that will put a dent in his pocket. But I've been seeing more Will Smith on TV now than I had before this incident happened. Like Fresh Prince of Bel Air still comes on MTV. So his shows are in syndication. Now what's going to happen to the new show, the new Bel Air or something like that? I'm not sure. I believe that all of his projects are being on hold indefinitely or whatever. I don't know. I think that's going to be lifted. But I will say this in regards to his marriage to Jada Smith. I am no one to tell anyone to leave a marriage. No one. However, I am one to advocate you protecting your peace. And if he feels that there's no peace for him in that household, then I believe that he should make a change. Um, in my opinion, it's clear to me that she is not interested and has never been interested in being his wife. She's even said it. It's kind of like Will Smith and Jada Smith's mother kind of coerced her, saying, well, you got to do this, you got to do this. And my husband and I debated about this because I believe that what's going on with Will Smith in his home is partially his blame. And I'll explain to you why. Because you knew that this woman was not in love with you from the beginning. You knew exactly who she was in love with. You knew she did not want to be married. Now, I don't think I ever heard her say she didn't want to be pregnant, but I do remember hearing her say she didn't want to be married. This is something you knew, Will Smith. You knew she didn't want to be married. You knew she was in love with a deceased man, or, at the time he wasn't deceased, but you knew all of this, but you pursued it anyway. So, in that regard, maybe you were trying to fill a void. Maybe you were trying to prove to family and friends that your life would not turn out the way your parents did. Maybe you were reaching out for something and you figured that the picturesque lifestyle that you were wanting would make you feel better. But in turn, if it's fake, it's fake. I don't, like I said, I can't tell anyone to leave a marriage, but I would definitely advocate that you make sure that you're peaceful within yourself. If someone is causing you stress, how good are they? Because then how good are you going to be? You have children. Granted, they're not babies, but still you have a family, As far as Jada Smith, she is going to continue to be who she is. That's it. I mean, why should she have to change? She's not going to change. She doesn't have to change. Her bullshit is accepted. Worldwide, it's accepted. She's not the damsel in distress. Will isn't the damsel in distress. No one is. Both of them have made their own decisions. So whatever they choose to do is between them, but I definitely see her holding on. Because why would she leave? She's been able to do whatever she wanted to do all this time. What's going to stop her? You know what I mean? Well, that's that. I wish the Smiths all the best. I pray that they do what's best for them individually and or for their family's sake. Will Smith, hang in there. You did not lose me as a fan. Chris Rock, hang in there. You did not lose me as a fan. Jada Smith, have a great day. That's all I got. Moving on to my homie, and I'm really sad that he's gone. Mr. Kevin Samuels. First off, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for your honesty. I want to thank you for the information that you provided for ladies and gentlemen, because you didn't have to. I appreciate your delivery. I appreciate the harshness. I appreciate the information that you provided because the world sees it that way. We can't get mad at just you when the world projects it. So, um, thank you for what you've done, sir. I totally appreciate it. Um, and my condolences to Kevin Samuels' family and friends. So I'm sorry for your loss. It was a loss for all of us. And this is why, and I said in a previous video, uh, Kevin Samuels was very, very important to black culture, in my opinion. He was an asset to black culture because he spoke, even though it was his truth, I believe there was truth to it. Um, I've seen so many people here on social media just praising and being happy about this man's demise. And I think that that is horribly sick. How could you be happy at someone's death? That doesn't make sense to me. Um, you can't kill the messenger. You shouldn't kill the messenger. Um, and I've been seeing memes all over the place like these women are more upset with Kevin Samuels than the actual men who have done them dirty. Real shit. Um, I don't have, like I said, I didn't never had a problem with how he delivered things. The only time I had an issue with Kevin Samuels, and that was the very first video I saw, and it was just a clip of something. I hadn't seen an entire video, but he was asking a woman what her dress size was and what her height was, and my thing was, why is he asking all this? But then I remember, guys talk about stuff like this. Men talk about what a woman looks like. Men talk about what her ass look like, what her teeth. Men talk about stuff like that. So him saying that, him asking women these things, is not far fetched. The only way it's a little out of line is because men don't talk to women about it, but men do talk to other men about it. Men are visual beings. Hell, we all are. But yes, men want to know what dress size, how much you weigh, how tall are you. Men want to know that. So what was the problem with him saying the same thing to a woman? Is because we're supposed to deal with women with kitten gloves. They're the damsel in distress. You can't be as harsh. No, the world is harsh. You can't take it from one dude who has absolutely nothing to do with you, who has absolutely no, he has nothing to gain and or lose by giving the information that he was giving. Women who hate him so much are the ones who are on his platform the most, not men. Women. And these women are so mad and angry and he gay and da da. So what if he was gay? Was what he said right? I never heard a woman say the shit he said was wrong. I've only heard a woman complain about how he said it. Grow up, because you've said worse things to people, but you're gonna worry about a man who's somewhere else, not even in your life. You're that upset about it. Maybe you're the woman he's talking about. I know I was. And I wanted something different. And I made those changes in my life, but before I even knew who he was. But when I heard him speak, I was like, okay, the shit he was saying, in my opinion, was familiar. I remember being that woman. I remember wondering why I couldn't get a man up here when I was down here. I remember all that shit. So if you want something different, you got to do something different to get it. So that's all he was saying, but it's the delivery that people didn't like. So what? So what? And I heard him say one thing. He was speaking to this young woman, and she was trying to understand why, she's sick of black men and this, that, and the other. And she said, "What do you want?" And the one thing he said blew people's minds, but they'll never say it. He said, "Men don't want all that extra stuff that women are doing. All that extra hair, eyelashes, makeup. Men don't want that. Black men want you to talk to them like you would talk to your white boss." I heard crickets after that. That woman could not say anything. He said, that's all men want. That's all men want, black men want, is for their woman to speak to them like they were talking to a white boss. You know exactly what to say to keep your job, to make sure you're getting paid right. But when you get home, you speak to this man any kind of way you want. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with you don't women don't want to deal with that. So why would women put it on men? I appreciate you, Kevin Samuels. I did from the beginning. After that one little hurdle, but I did from the beginning and all the way up to your demise. I apologize for all these naysayers and stuff like that who are very bitter and still single. Um, but again, I appreciate the work you did. Um, that's all I had. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I didn't expect to be on here for no 25 minutes, but there it is. I'm going to start doing more lives like this. I'll probably do a live. I don't know how often, but it's going to be more often. I'm going to start coming online as I think of stuff. Like right now, I don't have any viewers on here, but that's all right. Y'all will catch it in the broadcast, and y'all will catch up because you'll see that I'm going to be doing lives more often. Um, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, so much for hanging in there with me and selecting this video. Don't forget to head on over to my other channel, Monray, that I share with my husband, where we speak about everything from race relations to love relations, everything in between. On both channels, there's a $100 giveaway when we reach 1,000 subscribers. So tell a friend and let's get it in. Let's get this thing going and keep this channel growing. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to do a collab or anything, you want me to test a product, be a product ambassador, please don't forget to leave that information in the comment section below. My business email is in the comment section. Is in the description box below. Again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Get out there and enjoy today because tomorrow's not promised. Thank you. Bye. How do I stop this thing? I never know how to stop it. What does this button do?